Sports welcomes you to the football field at Andrean High School, where tonight the Andrean 59ers host the #1 ranked Hobart Brickies. The Brickies 2-0, and on the other hand, the Andrean 59ers looking for their first win of the season, Mark. They are struggling 0-2. Welcome everybody once again, along with Mark Smith. This is John Batliner bringing you Northwest Indiana High School football. And Mark, tonight Andrean's going to have their hands full. They normally would have their hands full anyway, but with injuries to Matt McCloskey and Darren Wesley, their two top running backs, both of them are going to be out. They're really going to be hurting tonight.
It's hard to imagine how Andrean can win this game without Wesley, who some thought had a chance for All-State this year and perhaps still does. He'll miss tonight's game with an ankle injury, as you said. Both starting running backs out for Andrean. About the only positive is that they're a young team. They're supposedly pretty strong on offense, although we really haven't seen that in the first two games. And they're playing at home in front of their home crowd on a good night against the state champion. You know, anything can happen. As soon as Hobart realizes that Wesley is out, maybe they'll let up a little, and the 59ers will be able to keep the game close.
We'll see. There you saw what the teams did last week. Hobart with a big win, a shutout win against Valparaiso. Andrean losing to Wirt 18-14. And in the past, you brought an interesting stat with you tonight that Andrean has only lost 14 games in the last 4 seasons, but 4 of those 14 have come to the hands of the Hobart Brickies.
Yeah, this has been a real tough team for them. You can see the past meetings on your screen there. I guess the worst one was 1985 on Friday the 13th when they really got bombed. And we saw them on U.S. Cable get beat in the playoffs a few years ago, right. And that game got to be a rout in the late going. Again, to pick an upset, you need speed. Andrean has some of that. You need a great night on special teams. Hobart has not been dominating on special teams as of yet this year. If Andrean has a great night, you know, maybe they block a kick, maybe they run a kick back for a touchdown, they have a chance in this game. Again, they are at home.
We'll see if they'll be able to do that. Hobart's going to get the ball first to start with, and we'll have the opening kickoff after this. Stay with us. And welcome back here to Andrean High School Region Sports, about ready to kick off another game. The #1 ranked Hobart Brickies, #1 ranked in Class 4A. The Andrean 59ers, also a 4A team, ready to score off. 59ers looking for their first win of the season, and without Darren Wesley and Matt McCloskey, that could be rather tough for them.
Again, here's what we talk about special teams. Here's where a game can be swung, even against an outstanding opponent. Let's see how Andrean attacks the Hobart kickoff return team.
Tim Hutchins kicks it off for the Andrean 59ers. A short kick fielded at the 20 by the Hobart Brickies, and they bring it out to the 33-yard line where they will start, and they'll have a 1st and 10. Let's see if we could take a look at how the Brickies set it up on offense. The quarterback for the Hobart Brickies, number 19, Dave Risha. And, of course, in the backfield will be number 36, Lino Maggio, and number 31 to go along with him will be Dave Grabzak. The wingback, Zanola, Knight, and Williams also be there. And up front for the Brickies, you have Graham, Golars, Labouni, Galvin, and Bialotta.
Hobart over 600 yards total offense in their first 2 games, both victories.
This is Maggio going to the right side, and the 59er defense stack him up, but Maggio squirts through. It looks like he gains about 4 or 5 yards on the play. Good effort by Maggio.
Yeah, that was an innocent-looking play that really picked up good yardage. Andrean will play a 5-3 defense, which means they have a lot of people stacked in close to the line. They'll look for play action from Hobart, obviously, later on.
Give Maggio 5 on the play, so the Brickies bring it up, looking at a 2nd and 5 against the 59er defense. We'll take a look at that after this play. See if they send Zanola in motion. They don't. Risha's going to scramble out here to his left. He's got a man open downfield. It's Zanola, and Zanola has a 1st down, and he's out near midfield. About an 8-yard gain on the play.
Well, that was almost too easy. Roll out there, not much pressure at all. 10 yards on the first down of the game for the Brickies.
Let's take a look at that 59er defense up front. They go with the 5-3. There's Hornick, Carter, Townsend, Morales, and Mance. The linebackers, Mahalik, Quaylis, and Doyle. 1st and 10 for the Hobart Brickies, and this is Grabzak up the middle. He gets stacked up and might have lost a yard on that play.
Ball went to the 2nd man, Grabzak there, and the Andrean defense was ready to stop him. Hobart will always try the run first. In fact, in the first series of the game, I was kind of surprised to see the pass on second down. Usually Hobart grinds it out until you stop him.
The ball set at the 47-yard line. And we have an official's timeout. Look like we might have a helmet to get it squared away. I'd like to let you know that our first quarter tonight is being sponsored by Dairy Queen of Maryville on 68th and Broadway. Good time to go into Dairy Queen and pick up some of those treats there before the summer runs out. Zanola goes in motion. Reish is going to drop back. He's looking for Zanola. He's got him. And the 59er defense now tackles him, but not before Zanola gains about 5 yards. And Mark, that was a play we saw them run quite a bit last week against Valparaiso.
Yeah, that's such a basic play. Sometimes I think you run that just to see if everybody's nerves are calm. That's the kind of play that's so simple that to do it at the start of the game kind of gets everybody into the game. Didn't gain a whole lot of yards, but the play was run well, and it gives the indication that Hobart's going to execute well tonight. They look sharper, actually, than they did last week in the shutout against Valparaiso.
Valparaiso had a tough time last week stopping that play, but then again, Valpo had a tough time stopping most everything. Risha drops back again. He goes to pass. That one's picked off by Hudson. Hudson picks it off, and he's still on his feet, and now he's dragged out of bounds. D. Hudson takes it all the way into Hobart territory at the 34-yard line.
Well, just as I say, they look sharp. Risha was rushed, he hesitated, and when he did, D. Hudson stepped in front of the intended receiver. He made that pickoff at the Andrean 45 and returns it to the 35-yard line of Hobart. A big break for the 59ers. Let's see what they can do.
Hudson, a 20-yard return. And the Andrean 59ers without McCloskey and Wesley are going to set it up. Sophomore quarterback, number 14, Tom Zimmer, the coach's son. They're going to run this one up the middle, get a couple, not much on the play. Listed there at number 49. We do not have number 49 on the roster for Andrean. They say it was... Let's take a look at the Andrean starting lineup here. The quarterback, Zimmer, the listed starting lineup that we got. To go along with Zimmer, of course, Wesley out of there. You see Rogers, Laskowski, Perez, and Urbanik. And up front, Munoz, Vasquez, Daly, Matten, Pasquez, and Gadar. Gain of a yard on that play. Zimmer's going to put it up. He's under pressure, and he's going to be sacked.
Oh, great rush. Boy, we saw that boy last week. Randy Algram, remember he almost blocked several punts last week at defensive end. He poured across the line and got Zimmer for what looks like about a 6-yard loss there.
So it'll be 3rd and 14, loss of 5 on the play. And Zimmer should have to put this one up too. Should mention, last year if you saw the Andrean 59ers play, you probably saw Jamie Smith, a junior wide receiver who looked good. Smith is not with the Andrean 59ers this year. We'll get into that a little bit more as we go along. There's a pitch out, and that play not going anywhere. The Hobart defense fired up. Zanola makes the hit. And Andrean's going to have to punt that one away.
Boy, that was a tremendous hit. Zanola coming up from the secondary. No gain on that play at all. So the turnover does not lead to anything for the Hobart Brickies, for the Andrean 59ers. They kick back to the Brickies now.
Knight and Zanola go back. Zimmer gets the punt off despite it being over his head. And he gets it off, and he gets a good bounce out of it, and they're going to down that at the 11-yard line. Tom Zimmer made a heck of a play there.
You know, and really there, Sam Bennett didn't have to touch that ball. I think it was going to bounce down inside the 5.
A 28-yard punt for the Andrean 59ers, but they were lucky to get all 28 of that.
That's an excellent punt under very trying circumstances. Let's see what the Brickies do down here in their own territory. Of course, they're backed up.
7:25 left in the first quarter, Mark, and along with Mark Smith, this is John Batliner bringing you Region Sports non-conference rival tonight. The Hobart Brickies ranked number 1 in Class 4A against the Andrean 59ers. Zanola goes in motion, handoff to Maggio. Maggio gets maybe a yard or 2 on the play.
A little hit off right guard there. I believe that was Grabsek. Got only about a yard. Andrean with that 5-3 would figure to be extremely tough to run against. You would think you would have to throw.
Of course, when they put it up in the air, Hudson right there with the interception. Hudson, one of the few veterans on the Andrean 59er defense. They go with a lot of young people out there. So Reish is going to put this one up in the air on 2nd and 7. He's looking deep, and his man's well covered by Bennett, and it falls incomplete. He was looking for Knight, and Bennett was with him step for step.
Sam Bennett back there, I'll tell you. Sam Bennett is an imposing specter in the secondary. He's listed at 6'1", but I remember, John, during the basketball season, he was listed at 6'3". So either
well, he grew 2 inches, and then they put him in the dryer after the basketball season. He shrank back down. Well, we've got a penalty. I don't think any of us saw that penalty against the 59ers.
Oh, that's so close.
Passer.
You know, Risha was back there so long in the pocket. Andrean converged on him. Boy, I think that was almost, you know, what you'd call incidental contact. Maybe that's not the correct word, but maybe unavoidable contact. They were within a foot or two of him when he got rid of the ball, and he had waited 5-6 seconds in the pocket. That's a tough call.
Nonetheless, it's a first down for the Hobart Brickies. They have a 1st and 10.
Oh, and Andrean getting themselves into trouble right here.
That's going to be another offsides against Andrean.
Hobart with 16 consecutive victories, obviously the state championship season last year, and the first 2 of this year. And we should make the point before we go any further that Hobart is working on a streak of 6 consecutive shutout quarters in a row. And they're halfway through the 7th, a little more than halfway, when the ball snapped. Less than 5.5 minutes will remain in the first period.
Maggio cuts right through the middle of the line of scrimmage, picks up big yardage there. Carried it from his own 27 out near midfield. Big run.
Lino Maggio running hard there. He barreled up all the way to midfield.
Apparently that was Grabzak on the run. Grabzak again gets the carry and gets about 7 on that carry.
Well, they've got some hard running backs. Maggio 190, Grabzak there 215. He may not look 215, but that's what he's listed at. And the way he bounces some of the defenders off him, I guess you got to believe it. That is his weight. He's running hard.
2nd down, 4.
Give him a gain of 6, and that play will make it 2nd and 4. Once again, we got an official's timeout. Here, Sam Bennett holding his arm. He's injured. Bennett in the 59er secondary.
And the Hobart came into this game with almost twice as many total yards as Andrean. You can tell Andrean's problem, obviously, has been their offense. 607 yards for the Brickies, only 307 unofficially for Andrean. And the problem has been passing for the 59ers. Only 130 yards, and really only 8 out of 26 for the quarterback, Tom Zimmer. That's got to change tonight, or they really can't stay in this game.
So Noah goes in motion. They get everything squared away. Hobart looking at a 2nd and 4. Grabzak's going to get the first down there, though. Picks up the first down yardage and more as he carries that one all the way down to the 35-yard line, a gain of 8 yards.
Okay, John, when I said before that Hobart was looking real good, real crisp, next play they threw the ball away. But again, they're looking awfully good on consecutive plays. They're moving the ball at will on the ground. And I got to think that perhaps that's where they'll keep it, at least on this drive. 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Hobart has got such a big offensive line. You look down that line, you see 240, 210, 255, 240. There's a Noah on the pitch, and he gets maybe 3 yards on the carry. So you give him 4, make it 2nd and 6. I'd like to remind you once again that the first quarter is being sponsored by Dairy Queen of Maryville on 68th and Broadway. Hurry in today for your favorite treat.
Andrean with that 5-3, you know, they're almost in a blitz posture every time up to the line. They have 8 men, as you can see there, within just a few yards of the line of scrimmage. They can't constrict the defense any more than that.
That time it looked like it was Maggio on the carry. Gets the first down and a little bit more.
Lino Maggio, 5'10", 190-pound senior. I think I owe him an apology. I believe I called him Dino a couple times last week. I don't want to bring back the Flintstones.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Lino. Lino, and he's the up back for the Hobart Brickies. He's done very well in the first 2 games. There he is
Maggio again, and he's bulling his way close for another first down. The Hobart ground game just eating up the Andrean 59er defense at the present. Gets close to the first down, gets about 9 on that carry.
I think I called him the up back. Now he's the tailback. Grabsack has been the up back for them, 31, along with number 49, Malcolm Johnson. I'll tell you, they've got really punishing runners this year. In a couple seasons, they really haven't had the big fullback and the big backs overall, but this year they definitely have the size.
Grabsack 215 pounds up there. Maggio at 190 pounds.
Andrean now 7 men on the line. Look at that.
2nd and 1. This is Grabsack. He'll get the first down yardage. Carries it inside the, it's right at about the 16.
The way things are going in the early going here, another first down for the Brickies. That will be their 6th of the game. About all Andrean can do is hope to string the drives out, and now they call a timeout. Here's one of those defensive timeouts I was talking about. The offense is moving right through you. Don't wait till they score and then talk about it. Call a timeout, especially in the first half when you can afford to waste it, and then talk things over.
So with 2:43 left in the first quarter, we're going to take a break as well. We'll be back after this. And welcome back to Andrean High School. There you see what the 59ers have done in the past. All winning seasons the past 4 years. Off to a slow start this year, though, 0-2.
Yeah, don't judge the 59ers by their year this year. You know, judge them by that record right there. 4 solid winning seasons in a row, and they've always won the first game of the playoffs before they've run into trouble. This year is going to be a challenge. They have a chance to drop right down 0-3, but that doesn't mean the season's over.
Zanoa.
Oh, that's open. That's open.
He may go all the way. Zanoa, he's in there. Touchdown, Dan Zanoa. The timeout doesn't do any good for the Andrean 59ers. Zanoa carries it 11 yards for the touchdown.
Textbook Hobart play there, John, as you see Scott Golars and Zanoa celebrate there in the end zone. The flow goes right, and then the wing back reverse coming back left. And he got to the flag. 12-yard run. 6-0 for the Brickies.
So the Hobart Brickies take the early lead. 2:36 left in the first quarter, and they put the ball in the end zone lead at 6-0. Here's Bill Manopoulos trying to kick the extra point. Manopoulos.
And here's their freshman kicker, Manopoulos. He has such a strong leg. Watch the ball take off.
And it's right through the middle. That'll make it 7-0 for the Hobart Brickies.
And he almost half hit that ball. That wasn't one of his best. And we talked about Andrean in the pregame show. You know, we weren't trying to hide anything. Andrean, a tremendous underdog, especially without the All-State tailback or the potential All-Stater, Darren Wesley. That drive hurt. Not scoring when they had the turnover early hurt, but they're not out of the game at this point. 2:36 left in the first quarter. They have to keep their composure. I think a few first downs here, even if they don't score, a few first downs here will help them and keep them in the game.
Yeah, after the interception, if I'm correct, I don't think they moved the ball at all. They got the ball down to the 32-yard line, but that was about it. So the Andrean 59ers set to return this.
Manopoulos with his hand in the air. We talked about special teams. Here's where, from an Andrean standpoint, you'd like to see something get loose. Number 22, Terry Laskowski, is back deep.
And it's headed for Laskowski. He's going to take it at the 8-yard line and bring it straight up the middle. And he's sandwiched right out about the 22-yard line. That's where the Andrean 59ers will take it over. And I know last time we didn't get a chance to show you the Bricky defense, and they do deserve their credit as well. So let's go ahead and show you that the Hobart defense right now.
Bricky's so strong against Valparaiso last week. They only allowed 118 total yards.
There it is. You can see the defensive front, Graham, Galvin, Ball, Golars, and the linebackers, Algrim, Grabzak, and Jones. Show you the secondary in a second. Man in motion, and Zimmer's going to hand this one up the middle. Looked like that was Laskowski, number 22. Got a couple on the play. Let's show you the rest of the defense for the Hobart Brickies in the secondary. Knight, Gilliana, Burkhart, and Zanola. Dan Zanola was last week's player of the game, Mike Sporting Goods player of the game. He had an outstanding game offensively and defensively last week, and also on special teams as he had that touchdown pass on the bad snap for the field goal.
Second and long. We saw Valparaiso against Hobart very conservative on second down. This is the down where you have to take advantage of Hobart if you can.
Second and 6. 59ers a little conservative there with the run up the middle. Didn't see who carried that.
That's Bill Pavicic. We didn't have his number right at the start of the game.
Number 49.
Again, it just seems so key to me that on a second down play, when you've made a good gain on first down, you have to take a chance on second down. Andrean really didn't do that there, and now they're in a third and 5 hole.
3rd and 5, just over a minute left in the first quarter here at Andrean High School. Zimmer going to put the ball up near, looking for the screen. He goes to Bavicic.
That's coming back.
He's got a penalty. It probably looked like a flag. The Hobart Brickies might decline it. They stopped them short of the first down.
Not much question. There was a holding call in the center of the Andrean line there. Short of the first down, so they're going to have to punt it again. And we talked about how the 59ers desperately needed a first down or two. Well, they didn't get it.
So the Hobart Brickies declined the penalty, leaving the Andrean 59ers short of first down. And on 4th down, they are going to have to punt this one away.
And I'm starting to see a bad sign for Andrean. The Hobart defense is stacking up close near the line. You see the linebackers up just right behind the ends. They don't have a whole lot of respect for the passing ability of Zimmer.
And
there it is.
Zimmer's punt is blocked, and he is going to be tackled down at the 10-yard line. Let's see who got that block.
That's Randy Algrim.
Number 30.
We've been looking for him for a couple of weeks. He seems to have the ability to get through the line and come in unblocked on the punt return. He blocked that one clean. First down and goal almost for Hobart. They'll mark it just outside the 10. Brickies are in business now.
Just under a minute left in the first quarter. Algrim blocks the punt. Great field position for Hobart. They take over at the Andrean 10-yard line.
If you were with us last week, he almost blocked 3 different punts last week. In fact, one I was amazed he didn't even touch it. Slot right for Hobart here.
He definitely got that one. And this is going to be Grabzak trying to power his way for yardage. He picks up maybe 3 on the play. So it'll be looking at a 2nd and 8. They can technically get a first down, but it would be right near the goal line.
You know, we had a stat up there on the screen a moment ago. Hobart has won or tied. This is a non-conference game, of course. But the Brickies have been so successful in the Duneland Conference. It's just been tremendous how you can really say they've dominated. They've had a hand in everything for so many years now.
2nd and 6. He's going to reach putting this one up in the air, and that one, not quite sure where that one was thrown. And that's going to be incomplete pass. That'll end the first quarter. So after 1 quarter of play, the Hobart Brickie is on top 7-0 and knocking on the door for more. We'll be back with second quarter action after this. And just about ready to start second quarter action. The Hobart Brickies looking at a 3rd and 6 near the goal line, inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. They lead the game 7-0.
Andrean with a very tough time in the first period. Only 4 total yards. That's unofficial. Only 4 yards total offense for Andrean in the first quarter. And they're in danger here of dropping down 14-0.
There's a snap, and they're going to go with Maggio. And the Andrean defense holds that time. Maggio stopped up by the 59er defense after a gain. Well, they say we'll give him a yard on it.
A little surprised at that call, to tell you the truth, although Hobart had been running the ball so well. Thought they might take a chance and toss it into the end zone. Let's see what they do here. Well,
the
they
freshman's out there.
You know, you have the field goal kicker. Billy Manilopoulos, 14-year-old freshman. He's lining up from 23 yards away.
Missed a couple last week, but they were rather far. This is about a 24-yarder. Got the distance on it, and he does have the accuracy.
Strong.
So Manilopoulos puts it through his second field goal of the year. He now gives the Hobart Brickies a 10-0 lead, 11-17 left in the second quarter.
I don't know, sometimes when you see a boy for the first time, you tend to overrate him because he's new to you. But I'll tell you, looking at Billy Manilopoulos and the leg strength he has at his age, you know, how strong a kicker is he going to be when he's 17 or 18 years old? He's got a tremendous future.
That play set up by that scoring drive set up by the block punt by Randy Algrim. Hobart had excellent position, but the Andrean 59er defense kept him out of the end zone, forcing Manilopoulos to kick the field goal.
Andrean again really has not gotten started in the game tonight. No first downs. Big kick return would help. Let's see what they can do.
That was a pretty big stop on defense by the 59ers. That may keep them in the game. Perez takes that one and runs it out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and that's where the 59ers will take over 1st and 10.
You know, it's nobody's fault, but there's such a confidence difference. You see some of the Andrean boys, especially the younger boys, running tentatively. You know, they're not really running all out, it would seem. And the Hobart tackles are so aggressive. They just wrap their arms around and throw them to the ground, you know, like they're teddy bears. And so far, the defense has definitely manhandled the Andrean offense. Let's see if they can't get going. Again, they're still in the game, just down 10-0.
They're going to need to score some points to stay in this game, though. And you can see Hobart 7 straight quarters, that is now. Coming in tonight's game, it was 6 straight quarters with the shutout. They kept Andrean off the board in the first quarter. And that's going to be illegal motion against the 59ers. They had 2 men in motion.
Yeah, Zimmer should just keep the ball, go out of bounds.
Took a couple extra hits.
Well, what I meant was he should go out of bounds voluntarily.
There you can see the call, the motion. Both men were still in motion for the 59ers.
There's Tom Zimmer, sophomore Andrean quarterback, just 145 pounds. I tell you, it's tough. Come in against the Hobart Brickies, the state championship team.
The Brickies declined the penalty, so...
Well, again, we talked about the confidence that Hobart has. The confidence really shows there. On a first down play, when you decline a 5-yard penalty, you have total confidence.
Zimmer got back to the line of scrimmage on that, so no loss on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, no gain on the play. Normally against you know, a team who you figure is your equal, you take the penalty.
Zimmer going to try and run the option. He keeps it himself and caught from behind after a gain of just a yard. Randy Algrim seems to be all over that field tonight, Mark.
He's got a sack, a tackle there for a 1-yard gain, and already a block punt. But again, I'm not just sure whether the Hobart boys are so much quicker than Andrean, as they're just so much more confident. You know, Zimmer was kind of running tentatively. Algrim was going all out. You know, he knew what he wanted to do, and he made the play.
3rd and 9. Andrean 59ers put 2 men wide to the right, 1 to the left.
Watch the pass rush.
High backfield, and they're going to stay on the ground. Laskowski gets nowhere, snowed under by the Bricky defense.
Looked like big Rich Graham, 240 pounds. Shut that play down, just no place to go.
Loss of a yard on that one. So Zimmer's going to have to try and punt this one away again. Let's see if, now they've punted twice. First the snap was over the head, and the second time the punt was blocked. Zimmer does get this
he
one
almost
off,
blocked
though.
it again.
And Zanola takes it at his 35. They fake the reverse. He keeps it. He could be gone.
He needs a
Zanola
block.
needs a couple of blocks. He picks it up, trying to pick his way through there. Finally brought down, but not till he gets all the way back to the 23-yard line of the Andrean 59ers.
You know what, John? I think that's kind of a play for the future. Not only did that work extremely well, getting down inside the 25 of Andrean, but other teams will see that in the film.
Yeah.
And they will respect the fake handoff, and that will set Zanola loose. He got that ball at the 40, I believe, so he gets out 10, 20, 30, 37 yards to the 23 of the 59ers. Hobart in position really here to put it away, even though it's so early in the game.
Got a flag on that play. Maggio splits through the line, picks up about 6-7 yards on the play. Let's see what the penalty is.
I think this one's coming back. Oh, no.
When it rains, it pours. It's been pouring. Bad luck for the Andrean 59ers.
Hard times have moved in to stay here in the first half for Andrean, as I believe that one may be tacked on to the game.
And indeed it will be. We'll give them a 7-yard gain, and
the foul, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ball will be put down on the 8-yard line. First and goal, Hobart. From there.
Hobart leading 10-0. When the ball snapped, less than 9:20 will remain in the first half. A first half that has been all Brickies.
Risha sets up under center. Deuce backfield, and they go with John.
Goodbye.
No, touchdown. I got fooled by the fake that time, and Maggio goes into the end zone. An 8-yard touchdown run.
Kind of a crossbuck. Fake handoff by Risha and Maggio. You could say he broke a tackle, but he really was not touched to that great extent for Maggio. His third touchdown of the year. This one an 8-yard run, and the lead is now 16-0.
The Hobart Brickies putting points up on the board in a hurry. So no on to hold the extra point for Bill Menopoulos. Snap is good, and the hold is good. The extra point is good as well. And now it's 17-0, 9:06 left in the first half. And with this break and play, I'd like to let you know that tonight's second quarter is being sponsored by Reese Funeral Home with locations in Hobart and Portage. They are proud to support our youth.
You know, what can you say? Hobart had started slow in both of their games this year so far. They were down against Lew Wallace in the first game of the year. Against Valparaiso, they played a scoreless first quarter, led only 7-0 at the half. Slow start will not be their problem tonight. They're up 17-0. And unless Andrean gets a first down or two on this drive, Hobart's going to put the ball away right now, put the game away right now. They've already put the ball away a couple times.
9:06 left in the first half. Minneapolis set to kick off. The Brickies 17 points up in a hurry. Laskowski takes it at about his 8-yard line again, brings it straight up the middle. This time squirts through for a little bit extra yardage, gets out near the 30-yard line.
That's a real good return.
Field position really hasn't been that much of a problem for the 59ers tonight. Of course, on that interception by Hudson, they had great field position at the Hobart 32, couldn't do anything. And I think the worst they started out was at their own 22. Now they have it at the 30.
Maybe the setting of the game now will help Andrean. You know, don't stick to a conservative game plan. Open it up. Maybe a few passes on first down. I don't want to get away from that good run by Laskowski. Hobart has had a little trouble covering kicks this year, just a little. I mean, I know I'm picking, but they haven't been perfect in special teams.
Play action fake and a little bit less conservative, what you had called for, but not close to being complete. Wide receiver way overthrown. That was Jason Urbanik.
I like that call. although I'm not sure that Tom Zimmer will want to run the play exactly that way again, because Rich Graham gave him a tremendous shot in the back. And Graham is 240 pounds, and he just pounded the 145-pound sophomore.
Well, you talk about the 59ers having a young club. Mark Zimmer, quarterback, a sophomore. Urbanek, the receiver, the intended receiver on that play, also sophomore. Guitar, the tight end, a junior. And the two running backs under now, of course, with Wesley McCloskey injured, Laskowski, a sophomore. Zimmer press by Zanola. Zanola sacks him. That's going to be a big loss all the way back to the 20-yard line.
Well, there's a situation where Hobart had a cornerback blitz on, and the young Andrean boy, Zimmer, you see him there, he's got to dump the ball. If nobody's open, he had time. He saw Zanola coming. He's got to get rid of it there. He can't take that loss.
9-yard loss on that play.
Second sack of the game for the Brickies. Wow, tough situation here. Third down, 19, almost 20. You've seen the draw play before, and I wonder if Hobart remembers it, because I think they might see it again right here.
Man in motion for the 59ers. Zimmer is going to put it up in the air. It's going to go with the screen. And Laskowski catches it, avoids a couple of tackles, does a pretty good job, gets back to about the original line of scrimmage. Short of the first down, the 59ers are going to have to punt it away again, but credit Laskowski with some good moves there.
Best play, I think, for Andrean for the night so far. Yeah, statistically, no question about it. Give them 11 yards on the play. Short of a first down, the 59ers still do not have a first down in the game. Zimmer back to punt. High snap, but he pulls it down.
And gets off a good kick, chasing Zanola all the way back to the 25. This time he fakes a reverse again, not doing much that time, gets out to about the 28-yard line. A good kick by Tom Zimmer.
Yeah, I think Dan lost yardage there. Started at the 30, went in that big sweeping move, got brought down at the 28. Well, Hobart has scored the last 3 times they've had the ball. This is what you would call total domination at this point. Andrean down 17. At least 3 scores already. But they've just got to change up. Try anything against the Bricky offense. Big hole.
Bricky's running up the middle again. Get the first down. About a 14-yard gain there. Grabzak just going straight up the middle.
Give him 15 up the middle. In the first quarter, Grabzak 6 carries for 39 yards. You add that one to it, he's already over 50. 7 carries for 54 yards. Lino Maggio is the only back over 100 yards for Hobart this year so far, but have a feeling that's going to change tonight.
First and 10 for the Brickies, just under 6 minutes left in the first half. And they keep the ball on the ground again. Not much gain there, though. Maybe a yard, if that. That was Maggio.
You know, an interesting stat about Hobart in the 1980s. We have run a lot of their records down. In 1984, 13-1, 83, 12-1. Of course, the state championship year last year. If they win tonight, they will have 100 wins in the 1980s.
Tackle and gets about four yards on the play. Also, Coach Don Howe going for win number 199 tonight.
Right. From an Andrean standpoint, you just want to stem the tide at this point. If you can keep them from scoring their 3rd touchdown before the half, 17-0. Tell yourself you're still in the game. 24-0 at half, you can just play the rest of the game for experience pretty much.
3rd and 4 from midfield for the Brickies, and Maggio's going to get the first down. Got the 4 yards he needed and about 5 more, so give him about a 9-yard gain on the play.
And the ball handling is so deceptive by the tall quarterback, number 19, Dave Risha, that Andrean boys are actually running past the ball carrier. They're being faked out totally. I think they may have to get into a mode where they just don't attack so much and read a little more, but then you're going to get knocked off the ball by bigger people.
And there's a lot of flags coming out there. Should be a motion penalty against the Brickies. That'll back them up 5 yards, make it 1st and 15 from the Andrean 47. 4:23 left in the first half. 17-0 the Brickies lead, along with Mark Smith. This is John Batliner bringing you Region Sports.
Hobart will be back in the Bricky Bowl next Friday night against LaPorte. In fact, that starts a 3-game homestand, which is going to tell whether they're going to win the Duneland Conference again. LaPorte, Chesterton, and Portage.
There you can see a good shot, head coach Ivan Zimmer with his 59er offense trying to get something going.
It's tough for him, you know. When he knew that his starting running backs weren't going to be playing tonight, he knew it was going to be a long night.
Risha rolls out and he looks for Maggio, overthrows him. That's going to go incomplete, so they'll keep it at 2nd and 15.
Risha now 2 for 4. And that penalty may have stopped the Bricky drive there. It may help the Brickies stop themselves. You know, when you're in a situation like this, you feel you have to attack the ball. But a lot of times, that's what gets you into the situation where the crossbuck, the fake handoff, has your people so fake badly out of position that you're actually running past the ball. Let's see how Andrean plays it. Watch the 5-3 and watch how they come. They look like they're coming hard. Yeah, there it is again.
Yep, good call. Maggio gets back to the original line of scrimmage, possibly a few more yards. Gets down to about the 40-yard line.
They see a chance to stop the Brickies, and they come so hard that they take themselves out of the play. They get trapped. An injury down on the field now for Andrean.
Takes his helmet off. He looks like he's hurt pretty bad. Tell you what, with 3:24 left in the first half, we're going to take a break. We'll be back after this. Number 58, Roman Perez, was the injured player. It appears like he's okay. He's on the 59er bench being attended to.
Roman Perez, just 145 pounds. How many 145-pound boys can you play against, Hobart? I mean, if you have no choice, you have no choice, but it's tough because the Brickies do have the size.
3rd and 7, Risha going across the middle for Knight, and Knight makes a great catch, and he's down at the 18-yard line.
Outstanding catch.
First down for the Brickies.
Ricky Knight, the junior. If that ball catches him in stride, he goes all the way. But the Brickies will settle for a 1st and 10 at the 17. Pickup of 24 yards.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Brickies from the 17-yard line of the Andrean 59ers. Looked like the 59er secondary might got away with a push-off there on Knight. Otherwise, he may have kept his balance and gone all the way. Grabs Zach right up the middle, and he pounds his way down inside the 10, down to about the 7 or 8 yard line.
And once they get through the front wall, very tough for the secondary people of Andrean to bring down backs who are so much bigger than they are.
Grabs Zach close to the first down. They're going to have to measure for this one.
I have 9 first downs for the Brickies, 1 by penalty. And Andrean has yet to post their first down.
I guess that, along with the scoreboard, pretty much tells the story of this game. The Hobart Brickies up 17-0, 2:48 left in the second quarter, and they're marching for more.
Next week, Andrean will be at home against Horace Mann. Horace Mann have not been off to a great start this year, and you don't want to end the game when it's 17-0 in the first half. But a lot of that depends on what happens in the next 2:48 right here. If Andrean can hold them out of the end zone, then they can, like as I said, they can call themselves in the game. But if they don't, it's pretty much play the second half for experience because you're down a little too far to come back against a state championship team.
Maggio grabs that in the backfield. Risha steps up underneath center. He's going to give it to Maggio, running to the left. And Maggio's got the first down, and he's got the touchdown. Maggio shakes off one tackler and goes 7 yards for the touchdown.
It's so easy. Looks so easy there. Got to be frustrating for Andrean. Hobart has scored the last 4 times they've had the ball. They are dominant, 23-0, 2:33 to go in the half. Maggio's 4th touchdown of the year already.
His 2nd of the evening. And the Brickies up big. Manoopolis with this extra point could make it 24-0. That was the score they won by last week against Valparaiso.
Watch Manoopolis. Watch the ball accelerate off his foot. Boy, he can really kick it.
No doubt about it. 24-0. The Hobart Brickies really dominating the Andrean 59ers. And if you're wondering where we're going to be at next week, should be a pretty good ball game over at Maryville High School. See the Pirates host the Michigan City Riders, who really handled Valparaiso rather well last night. 34-14 they beat the Vikings.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you want to watch 2 good teams with running attacks, stay home and watch Beauty and the Beast, because all they're going to do next Friday night is throw the ball. And
should be a pretty exciting game. And if you're interested in advertising on that, next week's game or any of the upcoming games, give us a call at Region Sports, 769-6524. Boy, Matt Jones last night, I had a chance to see that game. Jones really looked tough. He was 11 of 12 for 254 yards.
You know, I'll tell you something. I like those Thursday night games. They play them in Michigan City because they have 2 teams using one field. But I wouldn't mind Andrean and Maryville alternating, playing on Thursday and Friday night. That way all the people in Maryville could go to both games if they wanted to.
They bobbled the ball. They're down about the 10. They bring it out to about the 23-yard line.
I believe that was Brian Barney.
Yeah.
He's just a junior, again, 145 pounds. What can I say? No point in getting down on Andrean. You know, they're very short-handed tonight. They wouldn't have been favored against Hobart anyway. You have to just take this for what it is, a team that's overmatched for this night. Now, you know, you never know what happens 3 or 4 weeks down the line when they're not playing the state champions.
Good point. Zimmer leaves it for Laskowski. He gets a couple on the play. Bring up about 2nd and 8.
And I shouldn't say 3 or 4 weeks down the line either. I mean, Horace Mann, I don't think is any better than Andrean is. And even the Andrean we're seeing tonight. Now, they're going to have to improve a little bit over what they've done tonight, but they can stand in toe-for-toe with Horace Mann. I mean, before the season started, you would pick Andrean to beat Horace Mann.
So with just under 2 minutes left, 2nd and 8 for the 59ers. Going with Laskowski quite a bit tonight.
Terry Laskowski, just 165 pounds, a sophomore, starting in place of Darren Wesley, senior star of the 59ers. And you can see right here that Andrean is, they don't want to create another turnover and let the score mount anymore before the half. 3rd and 6, passing situation. Zimmer's going to be throwing it right into the Lions den here, it looks like.
He drops back. He's got a little bit of time going for Laskowski, and Sonola nails him. Laskowski gets up, wondering what happened to him.
Almost intercepted by Bob Cosbate, a 205-pound, 6'4" defensive end.
And
that's why Coach Zimmer was playing a little conservatively.
Andrean going to have to punt this one away with just over a minute left in the 2nd quarter. I'd like to let you know again that tonight's 2nd quarter being sponsored by Reese Funeral Home with locations in Hobart and Portage. They are proud to support our youth and wish the Brickies good luck. And it doesn't look like the Brickies need too much good luck tonight.
5th punt for Zimmer.
This is Knight. He took it at his own 40. He's got room. He's got an alley down the side. Knight may go all the way.
It's all over.
He's in there. Rich Knight takes a 60-yard punt return. Touchdown, and the Brickies up by 30 points in the first half.
60-yard run for Ricky Knight. You know, I think they saw that Andrean was over pursuing down the center, but a penalty on Hobart. Penalty on Hobart is going to bring it back. Beautiful run.
I did not see the flag. It's on the far side of the field. Looks like it's at about the 40-yard line. Might have been a clip or a hold.
It seems to me that Andrean, and obviously we don't have a replay, and the coaches will be able to see it on the films. Seems to me they're covering the punt down the center of the field, and they're getting caught in the center of the field.
They are marking it against the Brickies, so that penalty negates the fine kickoff return by Rich Knight.
Well, everything isn't going to go Hobart's way tonight. You can see the speed of Rick Knight there, although he really wasn't touched.
Boy, with Knight, he's got to be a little disappointed with that 60-yard punt return taken away.
46 seconds left in the half. Let's see how Hobart wants to play it. I got to believe they're going to run the clock out. You know, I don't think they're going to go to pile another 7 on the board before the half, although I could be wrong.
45 seconds left.
As I say, I could be wrong.
Put it up in the air. Knight, and he's brought down after a gain of about 8 yards. Ricky Knight, 6 foot, 190, 160 pounds. I almost fattened him up there. He's just a junior. The Hobart Brickies are using a timeout. 36 seconds left in the first half. They're up by 24 points, and apparently they're looking to get a few more.
Well, I would think you want your first string to play a solid first half. Maybe in the second string we won't see anything. Yeah. I guess what I should say is a complete first half all the way to the end. You know, presume it's a game situation. It obviously is not, but presume that it is, and just play the complete first half as if it's a game, and then as if it's an entire game, is what I'm trying to say, and then just use your subs in the second half. Brickies have won, I believe, 16 straight games from Andrean. Last win, told before the game, 1976 for Andrean over Hobart.
The Hobart Brickies have dating back to, well, last year they were 14-0. This year they are 2-0, so they're looking for their 17th consecutive win.
And again, it appears unlikely that Andrean will score in this period.
Very unlikely.
I see you nodding your head there. So this will be the 8th quarter in a row for shutout football for Hobart. And just very impressive, as they usually are.
You're in and you're out. Risha going deep. He's got Knight wide open, and just over the outstretched hands of Knight. Missed coverage in the 59er secondary. They each turn around and look at each other. Hey, who had that guy that was wide open?
That was Bill Pasovich, who had played fullback earlier, and he looked like he was almost limping after Knight. He really was not running well. 31 seconds left in the half, 3rd down 5.
Risha going to put it up in the air again, rolls out, and now he's going to come back across the field. He's got his man, and it's going to be close for the first down. He may have it.
Good tackle by Tony Maciak. He stopped the play short of a first down there.
Joe Casco, number 85, the tight end.
You know, you'd have to think Hobart would take a shot at it here. 11 seconds left. They'll probably just throw the ball on down the field.
I believe they've used another timeout here to set up whatever they're going to do here for a last-second play.
When you talk about the game next week, Maryville and Michigan City Rogers. Now, of course, we don't know how either one is doing tonight. That game's being played as we are watching this one.
We know what Rogers did.
But yeah, we know what Rogers did, sure, because they played last night. And Rogers with a 2-1, and Maryville. That'll be a rematch of a game we had last year in which Maryville moved the ball up and down the field all night, but was stymied by turnovers and good Rogers defensive plays. And I believe Rogers boy intercepted the pass and ran it back in the final minute. And the final score was something like 14-2. An embarrassing loss for Maryville, and I'm sure they recall it. I have no doubt they recall it. And they'll want to get a little revenge in that game, which will be this coming Friday night. Now, what's this penalty for? Roughing the passer on Andrean. I got to tell you, I didn't see that.
Boy, they must have had a long discussion about that one.
Yeah, it seems like they had a summit conference to decide on that one because, well, it took so long. They'll mark the ball at the 31 of Andrean.
That'd be a 48-yard field goal from there. I don't know what kind of foot Manopolis has. He
that's a good point. They're looking over toward the sidelines. I've got to believe that they might want to try a field goal here with Manalopoulos just to see if he can do it. Frankly, from a jealous, just a selfish standpoint, I'd like to see if he could do it. I'd like to see if he could hit a 48-yarder. They have 11 seconds left. The clock running, though. This probably will be the last play.
Zanola goes in motion to the left. And he's going to put it up in the air. He's going deep towards Zanola.
Oh, he's got a chance.
And it's batted down at the last second in the end zone. Incomplete.
Good
and
play.
That will do it for the first half of play, barring any penalties.
I think Greg Schutt's knocking the ball away.
There's 0 seconds left up on the scoreboard. There may be a few ticks left, however. Hobart has called a timeout.
This first half has been
the referees have 6 seconds
tedious.
left.
So Hobart will get another chance, and maybe we'll see that field goal I was talking about. There is no wind tonight. In fact, it's a perfect night for football. We had not mentioned the weather. It's amazing. After the summer we have had absolutely no problems from the first 3 weeks of the Indiana football season. But I got to believe that rather than throw another one in the end zone, you'd want to trot little Manalopoulos out there and see if Billy can't bang it through from about 40 yards.
You talk about having a bad first half that won't end.
Yeah.
You saw it right there. You're ready to walk to the locker room, and wait a minute, all of a sudden there's 6 more seconds left. Before you know it, they're going to call another roughing the passer against
I see Coach Zimmer on the sidelines, and I think he just wants the first half to be over. He's standing about the 45-yard line, looking right down at the grass. What can he do? And he just wants this to be over. But Hobart get another chance.
Manalopoulos remains on the sideline, so apparently the Bricky's going to put up another bomb.
And they're not going to kick a field goal. You can look at it different ways. Maybe a field goal would be construed as rubbing it in certain aspects of it. Screen.
And a screen to
This has got to work perfectly.
And Maggio gets taken out of bounds or tackled down at the 10-yard line.
I think that's the half.
And indeed it is. A 20-yard gain to end the first half. After 24 minutes of play, that's exactly how many points the Hobart Brickies have. Welcome back to halftime here at Andrean High School. The Hobart Brickies up 24-0 at half. This is John Battler along with Mark Smith, and Mark Andrean really has got to be regrouping after being devastated in that first half.
And now we know that we've got a lot of parents and friends and relatives watching here. You see some of them in the stands. If you're watching the broadcast, turn the brightness all the way to black when you see the Andrean stats come up here in a moment, because this will not be a pretty sight. Hobart has just totally dominated the numbers so far in the first half. There you can see passing for Hobart, 6 of 11 for 78 yards, rushing 148 yards, almost 250 total yards. They've made the only turnover.
Ironically enough.
Yes, I guess you would count a block punt as a turnover, but since that's a 4th down play, technically it's not.
Right.
For Andrean, well, it's not a pretty sight. 14 yards total, 3 of 5 passing, and that rushing stat, minus 2 yards. And first downs we don't have up there. 10 for Hobart, none for Andrean.
It kind of tells a story.
Very tough night, but obviously you didn't have to be a brain surgeon to predict it. When Darren Wesley wasn't going to be able to play, you knew they would have no offense. He's been all the offense they've had in the first 2 games. They didn't figure to do anything tonight, and so far they haven't. And, we're not going to go through the second half pretending that there's going to be a miracle rally by Andrean, because odds are there isn't. But it'll be interesting to see, with Andrean playing a Horace Mann team that they can beat next week, how they play these final 2 quarters. If they come out strong, this can still be the springboard. This can be the bottoming out point for a decent season. If they just continue to play badly and worse and worse and worse and start fumbling the ball, well then, maybe this will be a game that will crush them and will leave them really down for maybe the entire season. You never know. From a Hobart standpoint, well, Hobart's kind of like the Los Angeles Lakers. You're not supposed to be able to repeat, And now they're trying to go 14-0 for the second year in a row. You know it's on their minds. The coach doesn't want to talk about it, but 2-0, 3-0 as the undefeated season starts to mount again.
Especially carrying the #1 ranking.
Oh, sure, which they've had for a year and a half. It's intriguing. The prospect is intriguing. The Hobart people are hoping that they can go all the way again. I've heard the question dozens of times. Do you think they can go all the way to the Dome again? Well, you just don't know. but you really can't say nothing negative off of what you've seen tonight. Obviously, an Andrean fan there. But
well, Mark, the Brickies, though, tonight, they really have created their own breaks or set up whatever they want to go along with their long drives. They've had the Randy Algren block the punt, set up the field goal by Monopolis, and they had Zanola had a 43-yard punt return to the 23. That set up one of two Maggio runs for a touchdown, and the penalty actually negated another touchdown. Rich Knight had a 60-yard punt return for a touchdown that was called back on a penalty. Otherwise, they'd be up by 31 points instead of 24. But I guess when you get up over 20 points, it really doesn't matter.
I guess
they're up 24-0.
All three touchdowns have been rushing touchdowns for Hobart so far. And when you go back to last week, except for the touchdown pass from Zanola to Joel Casco, every touchdown this year for Hobart has been a rushing touchdown.
Very strong running team like they have been in the past. Let's take a look in case you're wondering what our schedule is going to be like for the rest of the year. There you can get a look at it there. Next week you'll see an exciting Michigan City Rogers team with a junior quarterback, Matt Jones, who the Valpo head coach calls the best quarterback in the state. You'll see them take on Maryville, who has a pretty good quarterback of their own, and Mark Shayatovich.
That should be an outstanding game. It'll be exciting, no question. We'll
be at Maryville the week after that, as Valparaiso will try and get back on track against Maryville, and then the week after that, the Battle of Broadway, the Pirates and the 59ers, and then we'll see a big rivalry game after that. Two big rivalry games in a row involving Maryville, as Hobart will take on Maryville, and then to end the year, a game that could possibly be for the Duneland Conference, Hobart at Michigan City Rogers.
Yeah, that matches up as possibly a game between two ranked teams. You know, in Andrean and Valparaiso there, you'll see teams that will be trying to make their season by coming up with a big upset over a big rival. You know, Valparaiso, Maryville, big Duneland rivalry. Andrean, Maryville, we don't have to talk about how big a rivalry that is.
Andrean jogs back onto the field. Now we're just about ready for third quarter action. We'll have that after this.
Ray Golars won the raffle. Is that legal? I think they announced that Ray Golars won the raffle.
You ready, Charlie?
Yeah.
Welcome back. Second half just about ready to start. 24-0. We kind of got caught with the Andrean defense, got caught sleeping there, but Bricky's really devastating that first half.
And from an Andrean standpoint, you just want to play well in the second half. A win at this point is definitely semi-realistic at best. You just want to put some points on the board against the Brickies, definitely, and you want to look good in the second half. As you see, number 22, Terry Laskowski, back to take the kick from 90. Billy Manilopoulos, the freshman kicker for Hobart.
Manilopoulos doesn't quite get all of this one. It's a short kick field and fumbled at about the 26-yard line. Now they pick it up. That looks like it's Perez, and he's not going anywhere. Perez stopped right there at about the 22-yard line. And that's where they're going to take it over. First and 10 for the Andrean 59ers, who desperately need to get something going. They trail 24-0. I guess in their defense, you can mention again that they are without their top two running backs, seniors Matt McCloskey and Darren Wesley. Wesley out with an ankle injury, McCloskey out with a couple of different injuries, but against this tough Hobart defense, you really have to question how much of a difference they could make in this game.
Hobart appears to have their starting lineup in on defense, but don't expect we'll see that much longer.
Zimmer with a pitch play to Laskowski. He gets outside. That could be close to their first down of the game.
You know, he's shown something tonight. Laskowski's shown that he has good moves for a runner. Again, just a sophomore, I'm assuming 16 years old. You would figure that he's going to gain a little weight, gain a little more speed. He's going to be a factor next year after Wesley's gone.
Having a official's timeout. They may measure to see if this is a first down. They originally given them 9. Apparently it's a little bit closer than that.
We talked about the Hobart-Maryville game we have coming up later on in the season. Hobart Brickies, as we mentioned last week, have lost only 2 regular season games since 1980. Both of them were to Lake Central, were in 1986, and they were to Lake Central and Maryville. And we'll be able to see the rematch of that game coming up in a couple of weeks. They gave him 10, huh? First down.
Andrean's first down of the ball game. So the Andrean 59ers came out. They needed to get something going, a pitch out to Liskowski, and they get their first down of the game. They are now at their own 32-yard line.
You know, they are a run-oriented team, so it's understandable that they wouldn't open up and throw the ball a lot in their own territory. And if they never get out of their own territory, they may not throw very many passes tonight.
They go with a quick pitch to Liskowski again. He gets out to about the 35-yard line. Give him a gain of 3 on that play. And here in the third quarter, I'd like to let you know that tonight's third quarter is being sponsored by Milan's 51st app, located at 51st and Broadway. Milan's, where you can get one of the best cheeseburgers in the state of Indiana.
You can see Laskowski there showing little life. Terry putting his hands together after he had a decent gain there on first down. 2nd and 7. Let's see what they do. I formation.
Zimmer barks out the signals, drops back. He's under pressure, gets it off over the middle, and it looked like it's complete. That is the tight end that came up with that one, Andre Gadar, 6'1", 225-pound junior.
I'll tell you, he showed good hands there for a tall boy. He reached down to his toe level almost to scoop that ball up. Well, I kind of cringe when I see Tommy Zimmer taking those hits. He's just 145 pounds. He's taking some shots from boys 60, 70, 80 pounds heavier. Hanging in there, though.
And don't forget tonight that, once again, we will have Mike Sporting Goods Player of the Game. Last week in the Hobart Valparaiso game, Dan Zanola was elected as Mike Sporting Goods Player of the Game. He received an official-sized football from Mike Sporting Goods, and Tom Zimmer gets this pass complete out over the middle. Number 15, Brad Olson, comes up with the catch.
Real good slant by Olson. He beat the Hobart defensive back, Matt Roper, and that's a good, solid game. That's the best play Andrean has had all night, and they're in Hobart territory. I believe for the first time on their own. After a turnover earlier, Andrean did have a chance in the Hobart side of the field, but this is the first time they've actually earned their way into the Hobart territory.
A 15-yard gain on the slant pattern from Zimmer to Olson. Once again, Perez comes in motion, sets up wide to the left. Zimmer keeps it himself, breaks through the line, and Zimmer gets close to him. He's still on his feet, and Zimmer gets first down yardage. All the way down to Hobart's 34-yard line, a gain of 12 on the play.
I tell you, he got rocked on that play. You see him come back, keeping his composure there. Third first down of this drive. And all of a sudden, Andrean's moving the ball. Boy, if they could have just held off that score before the half, they would still be realistically in this game down 17-0. 24-0 is awful tough to overcome.
Under 9 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
Double tight end I formation. This is a set we didn't see, I don't think, in the first half.
Going for some more bulk.
Wow.
Liskowski buried on the play. Maybe got a yard. He was hit hard.
He was hit by Grabsack and Algram.
Give him
There's
maybe
where the size factor came in, you know.
Give Liskowski maybe a yard gain on the play.
Folks there from Maryville would like to see Andrean just get on the board. Hobart has not allowed a touchdown in 8 quarters in a row. When the ball snapped, less than 8:20 will remain in the third period.
Tom Zimmer brings out his young offense, sets up under center. They've got 2 wide receivers in there now. Perez lined up wide to the left. Zimmer drops back. He looks over the middle for Gadar. Ryder, the tight end, has it, and it looks like he's got another first down. Gets all the way down to the Hobart 20-yard line. Gain of 13 on the play.
You know, John, I even question whether Zimmer would start the second half. But he's come out and he's played extremely well in this opening drive. And Andre Geider has great hands. That's the second difficult catch he's made. 225-pound junior. Second week in a row we've seen a tight end do very well against Hobart.
Andrean entered the second half without any first downs, and now I believe they already have 3.
Well, I guess you'd have to give him 4 after that last one. That's another first down there. And the Bricky defense shaken up a little. Still got that 24-point lead to keep them warm, though.
First and 10 from the Hobart 20. Zimmer going to put it up in the air again. He's got time to throw. He's got his man open. Underthrows him a little bit, going for Mike Sir. Sir apparently has a great pair of hands. Didn't have a chance to catch that one, though, as it bounced in.
That play was makeable, but the pass, as you say, badly underthrown. Hobart's got, Andrean's got some speed on the outside, and they're starting to cause a little trouble, a little buzz in the Hobart secondary. Ivan Zimmer a little happier than he was in the first half. Well, I felt for him. He was just staring down at the grass. Looked like a groundskeeper at Soldier Field at the end of the first half, checking out the turf.
Second and 10 for the 59ers at the Bricky 20-yard line. Zimmer under pressure, scrambles out of it, stays on his feet, and picks up a couple before being hogtied by Randy Algrim. Zimmer maybe got 2 yards on that one. Make it 3rd and 8.
He did a good job to get anything. Hobart rush was all around him. They have poured all over the Andrean offensive line tonight.
And, you know, if you're one of those defensive ends or defensive tackles, you're going to just tighten up those straps a little bit on this 3rd and 8 play and come a little bit harder. I'm sure they want to keep their shutout intact.
Watch the man split out wide here to the near side of your screen. Mike Sir. He's just out of your picture on 3rd and 8.
Zimmer drops back. He throws in the direction of Sir. Sir cuts in front of the defender and has the ball go off his fingertips. The pass was actually underthrown, but Sir read it, came back, tried to come up with it, but couldn't.
He did a good job cutting in front of Jason Burkhart, 26. Got a hand on it. I guess it was easy to see that play was coming from up here. They had split him out so wide on the wide side. They're going to try to just get on the board here.
Jeff Pazanka, field goal kicker, comes on. This will be a good test for him. It'll be a 36-yard attempt. Pazanka
got a chance.
No, it looks like he put it a little bit to the left. So Pazanka's 36-yard attempt, no good. The shutout stays intact for the Hobart Brickies with 6:32 left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see Jeff get on out there. He's 225 pounds, big defensive tackle, but he's listed as a kicker on the roster. And actually, if that ball been straight enough, I think it might have gotten through. Might have hit the crossbar, but it might have gotten through. And that was from 36 yards out.
Coach Ivan Zimmer says he does have the distance at time to go from about 40, 45 yards with a good wind, whatever. That one from 36 looked like it did have the distance, like you said, but just a little bit to the left. So Hobart will take over at their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Malcolm Johnson bangs his way up the middle. Looks like he gets close to first down yardage there.
Big Malcolm Johnson, 195-pound fullback.
And indeed, another first down for the Hobart Brickies.
Malcolm scored 2 touchdowns in the opening win over Lou Wallace. That's the only time that Hobart's been challenged this year. Wallace led him 6-0 and trailed only 14-12 at the half. But since then, it's been Hobart domination against all comers.
Brickies now set up at the 30, looking at another 1st and 10, and this time it's Maggio going off the left side. Maggio gets about 5 yards. Boy, you really notice something every time he gets the ball. He gets hit, but it never goes down on the first hit. It usually takes 2-3 hits to bring him down.
Yeah, even against Valparaiso last week, which had those industrial strength size boys, he would hit him and still move forward. The pack would fall forward, which is a good running style. They talk so much about the Chicago Bears #1 draft choice, Brad Muster. That's what he does not do. He hits and gets knocked back because he's too upright. Maggio has a very good lean.
I think the only time I saw him get hit last week and not get the extra yard, one of the linebackers, either Jekyll or Ziegler, put a pretty good hit on him where they kind of stood each other off for a while before Maggio was finally brought down.
I think that was big Malcolm Johnson again. They'll set that ball just short of the Hobart 40.
Close to a 5-yard gain there. The third and about a half yard.
Andrean last year never allowed more than 21 points in any game, and that was to Griffith. They gave up only 17 to Hobart, but they've been stung for 24 here tonight.
Third and inches, and Risha, quarterback sneak, breaks right through the line, and he's got a lot of room. And Andrean pushes him out of bounds at their own 36-yard line. Risha, on a quarterback sneak from his own 39, takes it all the way down to the Andrean 36-yard line.
He just broke right through the center of the line. It's hard to believe that that could happen on a third down and short. He could break right through the center of the line that way. Give him a gain of 24 unofficially. Another first down. Their 12th of the game for the Hobart Brickies.
That shows you the power up there in the offensive line for the Hobart Brickies. In the middle, specifically, Mike Labounty, flanked by guards Gelvin and Golars, opening up the hole. And here's Johnson going up the middle. Looks like he gets about 5-6 yard lines. He may have fumbled there. Andrean saying they have it. A couple of the Hobart players came in and jumped in late, so you got to think there was a fumble.
See what the referee wants to say. And he said it's a second down play, so Hobart keeps the ball.
Well, apparently Johnson had recovered his own fumble. Gain of about 6 on the play. Mark it 2nd and 4.
We got the king size running offense in for Hobart now. That industrial strength right. Right guard Scott Golars, 255. Right tackle Stan Flick, 290.
And they're running that way with Johnson, and they just pull their way forward, get the first down all the way down to the 25-yard line.
That time looked like Scott Starkey, a junior running back. They'll put that down at the 25, another first down. No, Hobart is noted for having good-sized offensive lines, but this may be one of their biggest. If Flick could break into the starting lineup, this would be, with Greg Billotta on the other side, 240. Boy, just so much size. It's just hard for Andrean to stand in there. Here's Zanola in the wingback reverse.
And the 59er defense stacked that up rather well. That was a play that you saw work real well against Valparaiso last week. Got maybe a yard.
It's a very tough play. You're going to see some of the Hobart starters start to drift out of the game now. Last thing they need here is an injury. When the ball snapped, less than 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
The ball rests right on the 25-yard line. The Hobart Brickies looking at a 2nd and 10. Samoa goes in motion to the left. They're going to run that way. And a big hole.
Oh, look
they
at him
get
go.
The first down.
That's Starkey again. He's just 5'7". Well, he's got those happy feet. He steps lively on that sweep there.
Gain of 11. And another first down. The Brickies now have 14 first downs.
Well, that line's so tough with Billotta at one side, Flick at the other, Mike Labounty in the middle, Frank Galvin and Scott Golars.
Boy,
I believe that's
when you weigh 290 pounds and you move a little bit, it's pretty noticeable.
He just says, Coach, I was showing off my quickness. The coach is going to say you're going to show it off on the bench. 24-0, 2:22 left in the third quarter. Ricky's going for that shutout. You know the defense would like that shutout. They're not eager to get that shutout. Remember the end of last week's game?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Valparaiso came close to scoring, bringing it deep into Hobart territory. The Brickies called a timeout, brought their first string back on towards the end of the game, and preserved the shutout. But you can't blame them. Risha, play action fake, going to put it up in the air. Going for Zanola, just overthrows him.
Good rush that time by Andre Geider. I believe he's playing a defensive end position.
So Dan Zanola goes back to the huddle after the football just over his outstretched fingers. The Brickies are going to call a timeout here. Minute and 57 left in the third quarter. As they take a break, we're going to take one as well. We'll be back with more third quarter action from Andrean High School after this. Welcome back to Andrean High School. A minute and 57 seconds left in the third quarter. I'd like to remind you once again that tonight's third quarter being sponsored by Milan's 51st Tap, located at Broadway and 51st Street. That's Milan's, where you can get one of the best cheeseburgers in the state of Indiana. At least that's my opinion, I guess. Of course, I haven't had too many cheeseburgers in this state, but they have a pretty good one there. Risha puts it up in the air. He's got Knight inside the 10 down to about the 8-yard line. Gain of about 11 on that play. Needed 15 for the first down, though.
They'll mark that about at the 8-yard line, looks like. Now, I've heard everybody call him Rich Knight. He's listed in the program as Rick Knight, R-I-C-K. So I've been calling him Ricky. I assume he could probably go by both names.
Mr. Knight.
Some Ricks do go by Rich. His dad, Bobby, down in Bloomington, just loves it.
No. Johnson takes the ball at the middle. He's going to be short of the first down. Got maybe a yard on the play.
And number 52, Brian Cooley.
This will set up a fourth down play. I would think you're going to see Hobart just try to run it. Try to run right through and get it. I was looking at the score I predicted for this game. And it was 26-14 Andrean. I gave the 59ers
Andrean winning?
credit for a little more offense. No, 26-14 Hobart. I'm sorry. Good stop.
Andrean
Ball
defense
goes over.
stops them from picking up a first down. That was Zanola on
Joe Doyle on the tackle. Good stop.
Zanola lost a couple on the play.
So it looks like we're going to see a scoreless third quarter here. Andrean deep in their own territory. The clock running on the ball snap. There'll be less than 30 seconds left in this period.
So let's see, you predicted 26-14. If Hobart could come up with a safety here, Andrean scores twice.
They were able to get the ball to the tight end, Andrean was.
Slant across the middle, that play worked once earlier, but that one goes incomplete.
What, you trying to get my final score here?
Yeah.
We need a safety now. I don't think it's going to happen. Although, I don't know.
Get a little holding penalty and back them up a little.
And then 2 quick Andrean touchdowns.
I think the safety's more likely than the 2 touchdowns. But,
yeah, especially 2 quick ones.
Just 21 seconds left here in the third quarter. The Hobart Brickies maintaining their first half lead of 24-0. This will be their 9th straight quarter of football without giving up any points, assuming they get out of this quarter. Wiskowski going up the middle, picks up about 4 on the play. That should be the last play of the third quarter. Clock runs down now to 5 seconds left. That will do it unless somebody calls the timeout. And it doesn't look like there's going to be a timeout, so that'll do it for the third quarter. 12 minutes of football remain. The Andrean 59ers have the ball, but they also trail by 24 points. We'll be back with the final quarter after this. And just about ready to start the fourth quarter tonight. There you can see a very interesting stat. The only teams from the area to go on and win the state title, all four of them, ironically enough, from the Dumoulin Conference, three of them in a row, 75, 76, and 77. And then the Hobart Brickies getting it in 1987 with a perfect 14-0
that must have been quite
record.
a time around here, those three titles in a row like that. Big rush.
Oh, and Zimmer nailed, hit hard. Down at about the 2-yard line. Flag on the play. Let's see what the call is.
That might be against Hobart. I'm guessing, but I thought that was defensive holding, but it might have been offensive holding just as well, but I kind of thought that maybe they held up a receiver. Anyway, you look at it, a big-time sack there.
The Andrean punting unit comes on. It's holding against the Brickies, I'm sure, or
Wishful
against the
thinking.
59ers. I'm sure the Brickies will decline that. And indeed they do. So Tom Zimmer going to back up all the way to the end line.
Loss of 10. Boy, this is going to be a tough one to get away. Watch the wings, number 30 Algram and number 60 Brad Ball coming for the ball.
And he gets the punt off. He hurried it. Not a good kick. And it bounces at about the 30-yard line. Andrean finally downs it at about the 38-yard line.
That's pretty good in that situation. You got the ball out of there 36 yards. That's about all you can ask.
So the Hobart Brickies are going to set that one up, and want to let you know that tonight's fourth quarter is being sponsored by Wavelengths Hair Salon. Receive 20% off your next perm. That's at Wavelengths Hair Salon. Give them a call at 924-7330.
Brickies still with their starting quarterback, number 19, Dave Risha.
11.5 minutes left in the game, and Mark, I'm open for suggestions for player of the game right now. Malcolm Johnson on the carry there, probably didn't pick up any.
We'll work on it. We ought to give it to Maggio to try. That way we can ask him how you pronounce his last name. I've heard about 5 different pronunciations. Maggio. He has scored 2 touchdowns tonight. Dave Gravchek has had a great night running. Randy Algram blocked the punt.
And he had a quarterback sack as well as some other big hits there on the defense. Risha with the incomplete pass there looking for Starkey.
Risha for the game now, 7 of 14, unofficially for 86 yards. Not a great night, but you know he hasn't really had to be sharp.
Something that we haven't mentioned. I think we only mentioned it once so far tonight, Mark, and this will be Hobart's 100th win in this decade.
I think that record's probably unmatched.
Risha going deep for Knight, and
he dropped it
out of his hands. Pass was a little bit underthrown, definitely catchable, but Knight couldn't hang on.
You could say that D. Hudson got a hand up in Rick Knight's face, but I'm not sure that that's the truth. I think he just dropped the ball.
Yeah. It was a little bit behind him. He reached back for it, hit his hands, and he just couldn't hang on to it. Bring up a 4th and 10. The Brickies are going to have to punt this one away. You know, a lot of people might be criticizing the Hobart Brickies. They're up by 24 points this late in the game. They're still throwing. But you got to think that they are still a young team. It's early in the year. They've run most of the night because that's where their success is. So, you know, now they're going to try and pass to just try and get Risha a little more experience. Good punt, it stops, and now it finally carries into the end zone. Zanola, that was Hobart's first kick of the night. 38-yarder by Zanola, however, it carries into the end zone. So that'll bring it out to the 20-yard line for the Andrean 59ers.
Now, you make a good point. While Hobart has dominated the game, no question, for them to pull in their horns and just run and dive, that doesn't do their first-year players any good. A lot of their players are first-year starters. They may be seniors, but they're first-year starters, and the quarterback, Dave Risha, is one of them. Their offense has not been overwhelming in the first 2 games, and I know the coach Don Howell and the staff would like to work on it a little bit.
And 59ers can keep the ball on the ground with Laskowski. I guess looking for good points for the Andrean 59ers. Laskowski rushed into duty with the ankle injury to Wesley. Laskowski has played rather well tonight.
Yeah, I really think he has. You know, unofficially, he really hasn't rolled up a whole lot of yards.
I got him for about 30 yards.
Yeah, I had him for a little less, but you know, he's running well. You know, he seems to have some quickness. You know, he's just a sophomore, so he'll gain a little more power. Maybe they'll throw a couple passes to him. We'll see how he can catch the ball. And you've got to like their tight end, Andre Geider. He's made a couple of tough catches, so you know he's got the size.
And Zimmer going to put this one up deep.
It's there.
His man. Oh.
Oh, my.
Tough night for the Andrean 59ers. Had his man open. Was that number 30? No, number 15.
Brad Olson.
Brad Olson.
Referees have a heart, too. You see the referee pick the ball up and pat Brad on the head. That was a touchdown. And that may be as close as the 59ers come to one tonight.
Zimmer brings his troops back out. They're looking at a 3rd and 7 after the incompletion.
And Zimmer looks confident this half. He really does. You know, you can make the knock that it's easy to look confident when you're out of the game, but he does look a lot better.
The screenplay being set up out here to the right side. Brian Mish can't hang on to it.
Well, you're talking about sophomores, you know, sophomores and juniors. You got young people. This is a night almost every young team has to go through. Sometimes they don't have to go through it against the state champion, but...
Zimmer on to punt again. Line drive kick. Zanola takes it at the 45-yard line.
Fancy
Good move. And Zanola down the sidelines, and now he's tackled Zimmer on the field yelling. Apparently thought there should have been a penalty there.
Yeah, I kind of thought that I might have seen maybe 1, maybe 2 clips on Zanola's run. That was kind of an acrobatic, you know, little adagio move out there by Dan Zanola. Trying to put on a highlight film. Picked that up at the 45, give him a 20-yard punt return.
I've got Andrean punting 7 times tonight, not counting the one that they blocked, so actually out there to punt 8 times. Hobart, on the other hand, only had to punt once. 1st and 10 for the Brookies at the 34-yard line, the Andrean 59ers. 9:15 left in the game. Hobart up 24-0. And we've got substitutions on for Hobart. And I have to say that Risha got out of the game the right time. Eric Barton, the substitute quarterback, nailed.
Big time sack by Pat Townsend. Well, he put the stroke on Parton back there.
That's a tough way to come into the game.
I'll tell you. It's like, Coach, hey, is there any room left on the bench? But you know, Eric Parton wants to play.
The 2nd and 18 after the sack.
You would have to figure the way things kind of fall at Hobart, he's in line to be their quarterback next year. He's the junior, the heir apparent. Let's see how good he looks.
Boy, the Andrean defense really putting some hits out there. I don't know when they brought the substitutions on if Hobart left a couple of people off the field or what, but Andrean really getting through there in a hurry.
I think we have the total 2nd string in now for the Brickies. And it's showing.
Sarkey on the carry there. They didn't gain any, so they'll make it 3rd and 18. 8 minutes left in the game.
You know, if Andrean can play a scoreless second half, they can even take some solace in that. The fact that they held mighty Hobart to a scoreless 2 periods.
And that pass batted down, incomplete.
3 plays in the punt.
So Hobart will have to punt for the second time this quarter and second time tonight.
You know, and you've got to feel that if you're on the Hobart coaching staff, you say, I don't really like what we're seeing. You know, even though you've got subs, you didn't have subs in the last series, and you've really kind of stalled. You've got to gear it right back up to get going again next week.
The kick by Zanola, taken at the 16-yard line for that one by Perez, and he moves it out to about the 20-yard line. Not a bad pump by Zanola there. About a 30-yard punt.
Hobart would
be first and 10 now for the Andrean 59ers after the punt by Zanola. Under 8 minutes left there in the game.
Tom Zimmer, number 14, still the Andrean quarterback. Son of the coach, Ivan Zimmer, leads the 59ers in the I formation. They got 7.5 minutes to try to get on the board.
And up the middle, they may do it here. Laskowski breaks a couple of tackles, gets the first down.
Laskowski.
He is quick.
18 yards and a first down.
He really ran hard there. Got those long strides. You can see him gaining confidence. You know he hasn't had any playing time before now, and now this is really his varsity debut. I know he may have made a bit appearance in some of the other games, but this is the first time he's really been highlighted, and he looks good. You know, when he gets the blocking, he looks good.
Boy, Hobart putting a lot of people up on the line, and this time they thought they'd stop Laskowski, but he bulls his way forward for about four-yard gain.
You know, it's funny. Zimmer handed off and then followed his back in the line and tried to throw a block. Dad's got to tell him, son, you don't have to do that. You're the quarterback.
At this time, Region Sports would like to thank Andrean Athletic Director Chris Nicolini and all the people here at the Andrean High School for their cooperation and support in helping to produce tonight's football game. Laskowski breaks through gets a good hole there and gets the first down. And Laskowski moves into Hobart territory at the 49-yard line.
You know, this isn't fair. I know they've played before, but that's the first time I can remember hearing the band tonight. Andrean, they're whooping it up. And we got more life in the crowd now than we really have had all night, at least on the Andrean side. It would do a lot for them to score, even a field goal.
Official timeout on the field. 6:09 left in the game. Once again, I'd like to remind you that we will have Mike Sporting Goods player of the game. The player we select will receive an official regulation-sized football from Mike Sporting Goods. And they have several locations throughout the area. Zimmer going to put the ball up in the air, and he goes to his tight end, Geider, across the middle. Gain of about 4 on the play.
That's the third catch for Andre Geider. You give him 4, that's 20 yards in receptions. Well, I like him. He catches virtually everything thrown to him. He's tough to bring down. Wouldn't be the worst idea for them to work kind of a tight end reverse and just get him the ball running, see what he can do in that role.
Another official's timeout. We know Geider's got to be a pretty good tight end. Had a pretty big battle before the season. Get to that in a minute. There you can see the Hobart Brickies last year, 14-0, going for that again. And there have only been 2 teams that have ever done that, Brownsburg and Warren Central.
Yeah, keep in mind that until a few years ago, you couldn't play 14 games in the season, be that as it may. Only those 2 teams have ever gone 14-0. And they beat Hobart. They both beat Hobart to do it. Both did it in 84 and 85.
2nd and 6 now for the 59ers after they get everything squared away. Zimmer going to keep it himself. Whoops.
Wow.
Hello. Big hit. Alan Beasy.
He doesn't get to play much, but that may change if he keeps making hits like that.
Case of 14 meaning 14, and the defensive 14, Ellen Beasy, had a little bit more momentum.
give Zimmer some credit for toughness. Not Zimmer Senior, Zimmer Junior. He's taken some tremendous blows tonight. He really has. And wow, he's been able to hop back up from everything.
For a sophomore, he's
takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
Give him a lot of credit. Well, it looked like he moved a little too soon. The referees apparently want to get this game over with. No flags thrown on the play. Pass to Urbanic should be enough for a first down.
Yeah, I think the ref said, no, I can't let that go. Oh, wait a minute. You're right. You're right, John. They didn't call a penalty there.
So give him a gain of 7 on the play.
I didn't even see who caught that ball. I was so sure the play would be called back.
Urbanic came up with the catch there. And we got an injury there for the Andrean 59ers, a tough injury. That's going to look like it's Laskowski.
Well, I would hope that's not serious.
Just a tough night for the 59ers. I believe that's number 20 in there now. Rongers.
Get down to about 36.
Tough break for the 59ers. There you can see Laskowski. He's really been one of the few bright points for the Andrean 59ers tonight. Hurt. Apparently it looks like they're working on his ankle from our vantage point.
And again, by the time you see this, hopefully he'll be bouncing around and getting set to play next week. 59ers cannot use any more injuries on offense.
2nd and 7 for Andrean 59ers. Zimmer looking to put this one up deep, going for Urbanic again, and just can't get to it. Good coverage in the secondary for the Hobart Prickies. That was Matt Roper.
You know, he had Mike Sir going down the other sideline. I think he had a better chance to get it to him, but the play was designed to go down the right sidelines, and Zimmer just circled and threw it immediately.
Yeah, there you can get a good look at them working on his right ankle.
I'll tell you, it's just tough. When you go out there and you're playing against boys who are 40, 50 pounds bigger than you, you're taking the solid hits like Laskowski has all night. He's only 165 pounds.
Just 3 minutes remaining in the contest. Hobart up 24 to nothing. Zimmer running for his life, and he gets it off incomplete.
Get rid of it. There's no room for the proud in a situation like that. Just pick out an open spot and hit it. So this is going to be Andrean's last chance, I think, to get on the board tonight.
Once again, tonight's game being produced by Region Sports. If you're wondering where we'll be at next week, Maryville High School, as they host the always entertaining and exciting Michigan City Rogers Raiders. If you're interested in advertising that game, give us a call at 769-6524. Rogers runs on the field at the last minute for the 59ers. They set up here Urbanic to the right, Perez to the left. Zimmer looking at a 4th and 7. And he goes across the middle for Geider, incomplete. Zimmer on the field saying, where's the interference? No
very
call.
Close to pass interference on Alan Beasy. They say no, and that's going to be just about it for Andrean for the night. Just 2:47 to play. Hobart should be able to run out the clock. Looks like they're going to duplicate the score from last week.
No scoring so far in the second half. 2:47 left, 24 to nothing.
So how does that jive with the prediction? 26-14. I've been pretty good these last couple weeks.
Yeah, you're right on.
You're going to have to take me to the racetrack next time you go. Eric Parton, a quarterback. Pitch back to Starkey, and he'll get about 4.
Time just running down now.
So this will be, as we've mentioned many times, Hobart's 100th win in this decade. Coach Don Howell's 199th win. Well, that's amazing. It really is when you think about it. 23 years. That's almost 10 wins a year.
And next week he will be going for his number 200th victory. I believe only 8 other coaches in the state of Indiana have 200 or more. Handoff up the middle, gain maybe a yard.
Now, of course, the polls for next week aren't out. But I think we can assume that Hobart will remain number 1. You know, since Don Howell's come to Hobart, from the stats I can find, the closest team to Hobart winning is Munster. Now, I don't know what Munster did. This is Friday night. We don't know what Munster's done tonight in their game against Griffith. This is an incompletion by Parton. Some good coverage in the Andrean secondary. But before this game, Hobart in 23 years had 198 wins, 49 losses, and 2 ties. About 79, almost 80% victories. Munster in 23 years, 163 wins, 60 losses, and 1 tie. That's about 72%. That's how far it is between them and the nearest competitor. And frankly, that's a very good stat for Munster. I don't think a lot of people realize Munster's won 70% of their games over 20 years.
Good point. Zanola on the punt again. Gets this one off fairly high. Hudson takes it at about the 32-yard line. Only a 28-yard punt. Not much of a return. About 1:20 left in the fourth quarter, and I'd like to remind you that tonight's fourth quarter being sponsored by Wavelengths Hair Salon. Receive 20% off your next perm. That's at Wavelengths Hair Salon. Give them a call at 924-7330. And with 1:20 left, Mark, I'm going to put the pressure on you and get your vote for who you think should be tonight's player of the game.
Hey, if it's up to me, I'm going to go for Lino.
Lino, Dino, Maggio, something like that.
He's got 2 touchdowns. Hasn't been an overwhelming performance by the Hobart offense, but Maggio 4 touchdowns on the year.
And
he's been strong.
Has somewhere in the upwards of about 75 yards tonight on the ground, most of that coming in the first half. Again, 2 touchdowns. So Lino Maggio, tonight's Mike's Sporting Goods player of the game. He will receive an official regulation-sized football from Mike's Sporting Goods. Number 36, Lino Maggio, went off hobbling a little bit late in the game, but I don't think it was anything serious.
24-0. So since the first half, since halftime of the Lou Wallace game, which was week 1, of course this is week 3, Hobart has outscored the opposition 62 to nothing. I had it right the first time.
We will try and get an interview with Maggio after the game. Ronger's on the carry there for the Andrean 59ers.
That's going to wrap it up.
That should be the last play of the game. Ronger's with a gain of about 4 on the play. 3, 2, 1. That'll do it. So the Hobart Brickies move to 3-0 while the Andrean 59ers drop to 0-3. No scoring in the second half at all. The final score 24-0. And we will try and get an interview with Lino Maggio after this. Stay with us.